So this was a flight from Peak 6. My original intention was to fly south. However, with the winds that I was observing, and also according to the latest forecast, it seems they were a little bit too strong for me at least to push over the high terrain. So what I ended up doing instead is I soared for a bit, I felt the air, and when I recognized that my penetration was pretty minimal without speed bar, I opted for just flying the ridge north all the way to Frisco. This was also the first time I was using a supplemental oxygen, so I was kind of curious how it would work, and I was eager to get a little bit higher to test out the system. I ended up launching pretty late at 10:20, partially because the wind had picked up quite a bit in the beginning, and I needed to reposition myself a little bit lower on the mountain. Once I got into the air, there were already clouds and thermals cooking, and it was quite effortless to gain altitude over the ridges and be able to just glide to the lake. Before I went on the final glide, I tried to gain a little bit more altitude and just play around in the mountains, however, having the LZ in sight. Majority of the lift that I was catching on my way was really ridge lift due to the strong wind. However, the thermals were also really strong. So once I went under some bigger clouds, I was getting up to 5 or 6 meters a second climbs without even trying, just gliding straight. At some point, I pushed out over Frisco, and I was kind of curious to see how the thermals would be working. Now on the hyperlapse, it's very nice to see how the clouds are developing, but of course, in the moment, it wasn't as obvious. Finally, I decided to go to land, and I'm here just looking behind. I tried to position myself upwind so that it would be easy for me to just descend in the high wind and end up over the LZ. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing some spirals and some wing overs and sort of crabbing my way backwards to land. Overall, this ended up being a nice flight. However, it kind of highlighted the importance of light winds if you're hoping to make any real progress XCing over the mountains.